Hello and welcome back to Chef Melanie's Kitchen. Now it's been ages, it's been a few months since I've done another video for the channel, but as you can imagine, a lot of us lecturers have been rather busy with this whole lockdown malarkey, which is reopening or restarting next week. All the colleges are going back. Now this video is going to be a little bit different to my other videos because I had the idea that I wanted to link what I teach, so catering and hospitality, to other subjects within our department. So I teach at Wiltshire College and University Centre. I'm a hospitality lecturer, so chef lecturer. But within our department, so that's with hospitality, is also in the same department as hair and beauty. And so, you know, the hair lecturers teach people to become hairdressers and barbers. And the beauty lecturers help students become beauticians, and I help my students become chefs. And I thought, what would be a way of linking all these subjects together? Because you might not naturally put chefs and hairdressers and beauticians and barbers together. But when you think about it, with the kind of jobs that we have, we're all providing a service, aren't we? And we're all providing a service that sort of brings happiness and sort of joy into the world, you know? So us chefs, we create a delicious meal and that puts a smile on people's faces. Hairdressers give people beautiful haircuts so they walk out of the salon feeling beautiful. Beauticians, well, same with barbers as well, and beautiful beards and things. Beauticians sort out, I need my eyebrows doing, but sort out beautiful eyebrows and beautiful lashes and massages and all of which make our customers feel really great. And so that's sort of what our departments have in common. Now, in terms of teaching, I wondered sort of how to link them. And what I thought might work quite well is, so with my hospitality students, I've just started a module on nutrition. All of my subjects, level 1, level 2, level 3, apprenticeships, all have to learn a little bit about nutrition. And so we've just started on that, and then I thought actually nutrition is really important when it comes to good healthy hair, good healthy nails, good healthy skin. So I thought I'd go through, and also I'm sort of doffing my my dual professionalism cap, because as well as being a trained teacher and as well as being a chef for a while before I became a teacher, I'm also a qualified nutritionist as well. I did nutrition at uni for a few years, bit of showing off. So I thought I'd use that knowledge and go through a few ingredients that are really, really good for hair health, for skin health, for nails, that sort of thing. And as well as the sort of vitamins and minerals and nutrients in these foods, I'm then going to make a really simple dish with these ingredients that whether you're a chef or whether you're a lecturer, whether you're a hospitality student, beauty student, hair student, a really simple recipe that I reckon all of you guys could follow. So I'll go through them. So first of all, we've got an avocado. Now avocado, incredibly popular ingredient at the moment, considered quite trendy these days. And the reason why it's become so trendy and so popular is because of how good it is for you. Now avocado, strangely enough, is a fruit. It's sort of short for avocado pear. Not a lot of people know that, because you think about it, it's sort of pear-shaped, isn't it? And the reason why avocado has become so amazingly popular is, unlike sort of normal fruit and veg, it's actually got it's got fat in it. Most fruit and veg don't have any fat in it, but don't be scared of the word fat, because it's got a type of fat in it called monounsaturated fat. Now my catering students will know, because we've looked into this a little bit already, there are two main types of fat sort of mainly in the diet, and that's saturated fat and unsaturated. Now saturated fats are the naughty, the sort of baddies, I suppose. Although of course, you know, there's nothing wrong with the odd treat. It's all about having a balanced diet. But saturates are the sort of naughty ones. So saturates will be found in like bacon and meat and sausages and in pastries and cheese and pizzas, in a lot of things, in biscuits, in a lot of things we like, to be honest, is saturated fats. And they're not the best for your heart, and they're not very good for your skin either. if anyone's struggling with acne or if anyone's struggling with greasy skin or spots, it's recommended that they avoid saturated fats or cut down on them and avoid fried foods, because that makes the skin greasier and it causes more skin issues. Now, on the opposite level, you've got these unsaturated fats, so monounsaturated and polyunsaturated, and that's found in this wonder fruit, the avocado. You also get natural fats in any nuts and seeds, and in oily fish such as mackerel and tuna and swordfish and that sort of thing. But avocados, a lot of people really like avocados, so that's going to be the sort of main basis to today's recipe. And yeah, it works almost like as a moisturizer from the inside out. You know, some people will put cream on to give their skin moisture, but if you eat these, it's like eating a moisturizer, but not that you're going to get moisturizer with a teaspoon and start numbing away. This is moisturizing from the inside. Now moving on to calcium. I think many of us will know about calcium already. Calcium is a mineral, and it's really, really important for sort of sturdy, strong, healthy hair, skin and nails. And you'll find that if people don't get enough calcium, it's really, really obvious in the nails. They'll become brittle and they break quite easily as well. Some people say about calcium spots, it's when you get little spots within the nails, and people think that it's actually sort of little dots of calcium within the nail. But weirdly enough, that isn't actually, a calcium spot isn't caused by a lack of calcium, it's actually caused by a lack of magnesium. And if you don't have enough magnesium in the body, basically the magnesium allows calcium to leak into the nail. That's why that happens. But so for the recipe, you'll need 1 avocado and you'll need 1 tablespoon of yoghurt. Any type of yoghurt's fine, as long as it's plain. You know, don't put strawberry yoghurt in there, that'd be a bit strange. On to selenium. So selenium is another mineral like calcium. And some of you might not have heard of selenium, but I've heard about people calling it the beauty mineral or the beauty sort of vitamin, because it's one of the most perfect things for your hair, skin and nails. And you'll find that sometimes you can buy multivitamins deliberately for hair, skin and nail health, and selenium is one of the top ones up there. And really interestingly, so you could pop a pill, you know, a selenium pill to get the selenium into your diet, but what's much easier than that is just one Brazil nut is enough selenium for your daily needs. So just eat 1 nut instead. So we're gonna use 2 Brazil nuts in our recipe today, which we're gonna dice up and mix with our avocado and our 1 tablespoon of yogurt. So that's selenium for you. Now, eggs, lovely eggies. So eggs have got one of the B vitamins in them called biotin, and that is very, very good, particularly for hair. I was reading up about this and researching about this. Apparently, when people are struggling with very thin hair or with hair loss, as in sort of not just hair loss brought on by aging, but sort of more hair loss than would be expected, some people are starting to be treated with biotin as a supplement, because they say that biotin helps with hair growth and it helps with sort of hair thickening as well, and eggs are a really good source of that. There's been a debate, I've spoken to my hospitality students about this, there's been a bit of a debate about whether eggs are good for you over the last sort of 20 years, because they say, okay, all right, they are a little bit high in cholesterol, which is sort of the fat in the yolk, but generally, because they're such a good source of protein, they're such a good source of biotin, they're such a good source of other good products, they generally consider that eggs are good for you now, and so they're really great. And we're going to use 2 medium eggs for our recipe today. So lovely bread. So we've got some brown bread here. I like to use seeded, but any type of brown bread is fine. And here we're talking about the mineral iron, and again, some of you may have heard of iron before, and that's a mineral. And particularly with skin, and it's very, very noticeable if someone is lacking in iron. If someone doesn't get enough iron, they become something called anemic. And when you're anemic, it can cause you to look very, very pale. It's the reason why doctors can sometimes check you underneath your eyes to check that it's nice and red and pink. And if it isn't, then it means they'll do blood tests as well. But if you're low in iron, it can make a huge impact on the sort of tone of your skin. It doesn't mean that it's going to make you tanned, but it means you can be very pale if you don't get enough iron in there. And that's particularly a case with young teen girls as well, so adolescent girls, you know, from age 13 onwards, that you need a lot of iron because periods start. So we lose a lot of iron every month with that, and iron's needed a lot during growth, particularly with everyone really, but particularly with adolescent girls. They need a lot more iron than other parts of society, so really good for that. We're going to have 2 slices of that. This is all going to serve one generously, a nice sort of generous sort of brunch. And what we're going to make with these fabulous ingredients is we're going to basically make my take on smashed avo on toast. So we're going to mash up some avocado with some yoghurt and some Brazil nuts. We're going to toast 2 slices of toast. I'm going to show you how to poach 2 eggs, because I know some of the lecturers are talking to me saying that they weren't sure how to poach eggs, and all of my hospitality students know how to do that because they have to do it for their assessments. And then we're going to, I'm topping it myself. This is completely optional. I'm topping it myself with a little pinch of chili flakes because I quite like it spicy, and avocado and chili go well together. Completely optional. And the only other ingredients you need, other than the ones I've chatted about here, is a bit of salt and pepper, a bit of seasoning. You've got a little bit of vinegar here. It's about 1 or 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar. And that's to go in the water when you poach it, because it stops the eggs from sort of spreading out. And just about a tablespoon of lemon juice. And what that does is it stops the avocado from going completely brown whilst you're prepping it up. Cool, so what I've done here is I've removed the skin or the shell from the avocado and got rid of the big stone in the middle. I ought to mention it's really good to work with a really ripe avocado for this, so that it mashes quite nicely. Even an overripe one goes quite well with this recipe. So, so really nice ripe avocado, which I've diced and I put up into my bowl there. I'm just going to add a tablespoon, I suppose a generous tablespoon, I suppose, a dollop, not that's a technical term, but a spoonful of natural yoghurt there. And I'm just going to stir that, stir that around a little bit. Just a little bit there. And I'm just going to add roughly about a tablespoon, but really it's just sort of a splash of lemon, and that just stops the avocado from going, from browning too much. Although any acid will work, so if you want to use lime juice, that works quite well as well. And then interestingly enough, before I add the nuts and before I add the seasoning, salt and pepper to this, once I've mashed this up, so I'm going to use the back of a fork to mash this. Once this is all mashed, before you add nuts and seasoning, this actually works as a face mask. You can actually put this on your face, and what it does is the natural fats from the avocados and the calcium from the yogurt and even a little bit of citric acid from the lemon helps to soften the skin. So you could even put this on your face rather than eat, but we're going to eat it because that's more fun for me anyway. So I'll continue mashing that, and as you see, because the avocado is so nice and ripe, it's sort of, I can easily use a fork to mash it like that. I finally chopped up 2 Brazil nuts. Dip, 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 that goes in. And give that a nice stir, and I'll continue to sort of mash it up a little bit. It's nice to add a little bit of texture there though, and that's what those Brazil nuts, as well as it being delicious and healthy, adds a bit of crunch to it, which I think is quite pleasant. Lovely. And then I'm just going to add a little, I put some salt and pepper in a little ramekin. It's a little pot. I'm just going to put that there. Try not to add too much salt, okay, because too much salt is bad for the, well, it's bad for the heart, it's bad for the health, it's bad for the skin. Because we know about the importance of hydration when it comes to hair and skin. And if you eat too much salt or have too many salty foods, it dehydrates you and your skin. So you don't want too much salt, otherwise you end up with dry, cracked skin. So this is mashing up together really nicely. I'm just going to check what us chefs always do, is we check seasoning. So I'm just going to double check if I'm happy with the salt and pepper levels in this. That's spot on, that's perfect. That's delicious, if I do say so myself. So I've got a small saucepan here, and I've filled it about, I don't know, about 2/3 full of water. I'm going to add some vinegar to it, and I'm just going to let that come to the boil. And when it comes to the boil, you then turn it down a little bit, so you want the water to be simmering. And once that water is simmering, I'll show you the next step. I've got 2 eggs, and I put them, just for easiness as me demoing, I put them into two little, well, these are called dariole moulds officially, but my chef students will know that. But I've got them in little moulds here so I can easily, quickly add them in. And it helps to keep its shape as well, having them in little pots. Right, as you can see, the water has come to the boil. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it down just ever so slightly. So I want it simmering. There's not much difference between boiling and poaching. It's just slightly less. So get the temperature right. Yeah. So then this is the vortex method. So by putting a spiral, which you can use with a fork or a whisk, I'm using a whisk. So you make a little whirlpool like this. Okay. And what that does is it stops the eggs from going straight to the bottom and sinking. So I want that temperature slightly lower because it needs to be simmering rather than completely boiling. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And so I'm going to add my eggs in now. So 1 and 2. As you can see, those are swirling together. And it only takes about 2 minutes roughly for those eggs to poach. So I'm also going to put my toast down. Pop. If it will behave itself. Wow, I think I need to plug it in a second. I'll put my toast down in a minute. It takes about 2 minutes. If you're making it for more than one person, or you're making it for a crowd of people, what you can do is you can pre-poach a load of eggs, and then put them, once they're almost done, you put them into cold water, and then you can reheat them when necessary. That's a chefy term called refreshing. So what I've done is I've got my toast done to my degree of toastiness that I like. I like it medium. Some people like it really pale sometimes. So my dad likes it really burnt actually, but I like my toast about medium. I've really generously topped each of my slices of toast with that lovely smashed avocado mixture. And now I'm just going to grab my eggies. So, I bring that over here. Now, you would normally use a slotted spoon to remove these eggs from the water, but I realise I don't have one at home. So I'm just going to make sure that I don't end up with loads and loads of water on the plate. So give me a minute. So use a slotted spoon if you have one. I'm going to see if I can do this one-handed. I might have to readjust plating in a minute. If you get any straggly bits, which we call the tails of the eggs, if you get any straggly bits, you can trim them up. And I was thinking, this is a really lovely, it's lovely for lunch and everything, but I thought it might be a really nice sort of breakfast or brunch dish for you to make for Mother's Day. Because Mother's Day's coming up, Mother and Sunday's 14th of March, isn't it? So this might be a really nice sort of dish for you to make your mum or parent or guardian or whatever. So doesn't that look lovely? Move that over here, plating area. And completely optional, but I like my spice. So I'm going to finish mine off with this. It's nice for the contrast of colour as well. This is quite hot chilli though, Aleppo chilli this is. So I'm just going to finish up, don't know why I went northern then. I'm just going to finish up with a nice one or two pinches. I'm a bit naughty with the chilli. 1 or 2 pinches of chilli there. Tidy up the plate a little bit. I'm quite impressed I did that one-handed. And et voila, smashed avocado on toast with perfect poached eggs that make you feel amazing as well as look amazing from all those nutrients. And all of my hospitality students will know there's only one way of testing if a poached egg is well cooked, it's prodding into it. So I've got my paring knife here. Let's cut into that and we should see a nice yellow leaking explosion. Lovely. See all that lovely yellow leaking out there? And same with here as well. Okay, so you get that lovely yellow leaking out there. So et voila. Delicious, nutritious brunch